Many of these objects are thousands of years old, and if it wasn't for the passion and the hard work of archaeologists and conservators, many of them would simply have crumbled to dust.
It was in very poor state. Internally there was a very thick layer of cement that had been used to mend the pot in the Victorian period, and within that cement layer there were also bicycle spokes in an attempt to try and strengthen the whole thing. They were trying to do the best job they possibly could with the materials available to them at the time, and it would appear that cement to them appeared to be a really useful material for putting what is very large pots together. It was almost like a new material. It was their plastics of the day.
These beautiful pots were excavated over 200 years ago by some of Britain's first archaeologists, Sir Richard Colt-Hoare and Mr. William Cunnington.
The condition survey showed that the pots were beginning to deteriorate quite rapidly. Deterioration scientifically works on the basis that once it starts, it actually speeds up as time goes by.
The team to save the pots was led by Louisa Burden from Wiltshire County Council Conservation Service. Each pot was taken apart and rebuilt using the most up-to-date scientific methods and materials.
So we managed to put together a team of specialist conservators and a specialist subcontractor to help remove the cement, because that was we weren't sure about our own capabilities of doing that, and it's so specialised. Nobody had ever done it before on the sort of scale that we were looking at. Internally in the pot, it's a very, as you can see, it's a very big pot, and we think what had happened is that the restorer at the time got so far building it and suddenly realised the amount of cement was taking such a long time to dry that they felt that it needed extra support on the way up, and obviously the closest thing to hand were some bicycle spokes, and they were snipped off and actually embedded in the cement internally within the vessel. When the team were actually working at removing the shards, they would get so far, and because it had been also repaired using sealing wax, the sealing wax had acted as a barrier layer with this pot, and so they'd get so far drilling around each shard, and all of a sudden the shard would pop away from the cement without any damage at all to the original fabric, which was absolutely marvellous for us. The materials that we use to fill in the gaps are modern, and we use a term which is reversible, so that all the work we do can, if it needs to be in the future, be removed without any further damage, and there's a lot of scientific tests that go on to make sure that that's the case. Having rebuilt it from top to bottom, the conservator then retouches, using acrylic paints in this instance, the fill is a bright white, so the areas that are filled are really, really obvious and can actually detract from the aesthetic look of the pot. And in talking with the curator, they decide the sort of finish that they want. This pot is finished to go back onto display.
These are just a few items from the largest and most important collection of Bronze Age pottery in Britain, and link us directly to the people who built Stonehenge and Avebury.
It's about 4,000 years old, and to actually come across somebody's fingerprint, the person who made it, within the body of one of these, it's such a connection to the past and the people that had the skill to put these together. It's absolutely amazing. This pot came to the Conservation Centre looking like a barrel urn, which is very straight-sided and a flat bottom. When the conservators looked at it, it was discovered it had been built around a terracotta flower pot, and then cement had been smothered all over the flower pot, and the shards of the original shards had been squashed into the cement, and then another layer of cement used to sort of make it all smooth and lovely. The pot was incredibly heavy, and in places that terracotta pot and cement layer came to nearly 2 inches thick. So there was a lot of work taking the cement off the shards of this particular vessel. As conservators, we're very, very privileged to actually be able to look after what is the heritage of everybody in this county and in the country. We're so rich archaeologically, and we're so fortunate to have all these objects either on display in the museums and the sites out there, and the care that we all need to take is so important for all.
The work of the museum never ends. Everything that you see here needs constant care. But these wonderful pots are now no longer in danger of collapse and are safely back in the museum, a testament to the skills of craftspeople, both ancient and modern.